So yeah, here's my embarrassing kid story of playing Starfox 64. When I was good music for this too.
Oh yeah.
When I was a young lad, I had a game called Starfox 64. This is like my I'm gonna make a creepypasta, Starfox 64. You ready? Well, you play this. And by the time I finish this story, you better finish this level.
I got one plane.
When I was a kid, I found a box, and it had a cool character on it. It was a Starfox. And I said, gee, let me open this box and see what this fox is all about. And to my surprise, the game also came with a rumble pack. Batteries not included.
Batteries not included.
I took the game home, and then I noticed a strange green smoke emanating from the cartridge. I thought to myself, wow, that's kind of weird.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, really, it had green smoke.
No!
Fission mailed. Raiden, what's the problem? Oh, maybe you should set the difficulty to easy. Why don't you try that?
I ain't no bitch. It's personal now!
This is for freedom!
This is for America! Where I get in there! For freedom! America! We're the hot dogs and hamburgers!
If we want to grind up a bunch of cows and pigs and mystery meat and put it into a sausage-like device and stick it on between some high-fructose corn syrup bread and eat it with high-fructose corn syrup ketchup and put mustard, relish, peppers on top, so be it. America. Anyway, back to my story. So I brought the cartridge home, picked the sparrow. I just want to see the variety. That's why you shoot it just like a bird. Wait, moment of silence. Rest in peace.
Everyone who died.
When Jake Steele died, his body was severed into 1,000 pieces, each of which was infused into your jet plane. So our whole fleet carries the essence of Jake Steele in its steel. Do you see the appeal?
Yes. Alright, so what was your creepypasta?
Right. So I brought the cartridge home. It was starting to emanate green smoke, and I thought to myself, wow, that's strange. But I decided to ignore it and just check out what the game had to offer. So after going upstairs and stealing some batteries out of my mom's alarm clock, I brought them downstairs and put the game in the cartridge, and it booted up. When it started, I heard a voice say, and I thought, wow, that was weird. It sounded like the Super Nintendo voice, but it's on the N64. What's up with that? Then I started the game. All the Starfox characters were there. You had Peppy, Slippy, Falco, and my favorite, Fox McCloud. Or what I like to do was actually take a Sharpie marker and draw shades on him on the screen so it looked like it was James McCloud, his dad. But then, after I took the marker and drew the shades, something weird happened.
What happened?
All the Starfox characters started to look up at the N64 logo. I moved it around the screen and their eyes followed it.
How is this a creepypasta? This is just how it worked.
But then, their eyes stopped following it, even though I was moving the N64 around. The eyes slowly turned to me. And then the lights in my room started flickering on and off, and the cartridge started billowing even more green smoke, and I said, wow, this is weird. And then the rumble pack started shaking in fury profusely. It was shaking so hard the vibrations traveled all through my body to my teeth, and my teeth started falling out, and I said, oh, that's who said that. And then the eyes on all the characters turned red, and I said, wow, this is creepy. I probably should call for help. But instead, I pressed start, and I started playing. The Cornelia theme started playing in the background, and I was excited. I said, hey, yeah, and then the green smoke traveled from the cartridge, started filling up the room, went up my nose, and started to make me choke. For some reason, my tongue turned green and fell off, and then I said, Then, all of Cornelia turned blood red. The sea turned to red. The sky was red and orange. I got to the part where Falco shows you, where you have to save Falco from those guys that are chasing him, but I couldn't hit the boost in time. They got Falco. I saw it with my own eyes. His R-wing spiraled out of control in a giant fireball and hit into the side of the mountain.
This is horrible.
There was no recovery or repair for him. He was just straight dead. And for the whole rest of the game, there was no Falco.
This is actually entertaining.
Yeah, this is based on a true story. I had my tongue and teeth surgically reattached. That's how I could tell it. Anyway, when I got to the end of the Cornelia level, it still let me go down to the right, even though Falco was dead. Strange music started playing. It was the Starfox theme, but backwards. Then when I got to the end... then when I got to the end, it wasn't the Starfox boss that you usually fight at this part of the level. It was a strange boy dressed in green clothes. I couldn't tell who he was because he was facing the other way as he descended down from the top of the screen. But then, he slowly rotated 180 degrees.
And he just simply said one very small sentence. We shouldn't have done that.
And it's at that time when the game exploded into a million shards of plastic. It shot into my chest and eyes and face. And I screamed for my mother. But she was upstairs, and she was so mad because her clock stopped telling time because I stole the batteries that she couldn't be helped to come save me. So what I did was, I pressed C right on the control stick to ask Peppy for help. And you know what he told me? He said, "Do a barrel roll!" So I got off the bed, I got on the floor, and I rolled around, but that only pushed the shards of the game cartridge deeper into my skin. The green smoke from the cartridge now turned into liquid, which is flowing out of the N64 like a fountain. It was all over the floor, and I was rolling around in it. It was like a hot acid bath, and it started dissolving my flesh. I scraped my way over to the phone, like the Terminator from the end of the movie The Terminator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. I dialed 911 for assistance, but I couldn't say anything because my tongue and teeth had fallen out. So all the person heard at the other side was... And then in the background, they also heard...
What did they hear? Tell me what they heard!
Enemy shield analyzed! And then... I saw in the corner of the room, it was Ben, from Ben Drown, Creepypasta. And his hand outstretched to me. It grew like 10 feet long and grabbed my leg and pulled me across the acid bath of green acid on the floor. And he pulled me into the cartridge. And I was forever stuck in that cartridge. It just reassembled itself into a green N64 Starfox cartridge. And if you ever see a green N64 Starfox temperature, if you ever see a green Starfox cartridge on the internet, you'll know it was mine. And you'll know not to play it, because it's haunted by my essence. The end.
Alright, this is it. Boss time.
This is it? It's Falco! Oh yeah, it is the boss. Now that we know how to play the game.
No, I mean, I think I've been making it to the boss, but...
It's just really hard.
Yeah. He shoots me down, and it happens really fast.
You're good, but I'm better!
Anyway, that was pretty entertaining.
Yep.
Except for the one part where I have to just simply ask, if you were trapped forever in there, how are you here?
Well, you see, some poor sap bought the cartridge on eBay because my mom sold it. And when he opened the game and turned it on, I was restored to health, and he was the one that was trapped in the cartridge.
What was his name?
I believe it was Ben. Ben, and his last name was D something.
Drowned.
Ben Drowned. That's a weird last name. Paging Mr. Drowned. There he is. Shoot! Fire! Fire! Shoot him down! Oh, did somebody shoot you from behind? You know, I gotta say, the Super Nintendo had some pretty good, what would you call this? Like a third-person flying fighting game?
Dogfight.
Dogfight, there you go. Entering all range mode. There's a missile coming in.
This motherfucker. This motherfucker. You will not die.
It's Vladimir Putin in the other plane. He's just sitting there flying bare-chested with, you know, his oiled, muscular body. He doesn't fire torpedoes, he fires bears with rockets on their backs. And the bear just lands on your jet and goes, I got a bear on my 6! You mean a bogey? No, a bear! Putin's fighting with it. Putin's fighting unfairly. Actually, that would be really entertaining. Could you imagine Putin versus Trump in a dogfighting match? And broadcasted live on TV?
I guarantee you Putin would have that down before you could...
Imagine, like, you ever see, like, those planes refuel in midair? Like, you know, when you're flying long distance and the other plane has to, like, inject the other plane with the tube to refuel it.
Right.
So imagine, like, Putin's plane just, like, hovers on top of Trump's plane, like, extends its penis-like thing into Trump's plane. You serve me now. For the record, we don't support the mainstream media lie of Russian collusion. We know it's fake news. Right, Anthony? Right, Bill?
I just want it to be true, so that way we
Yeah,
can...
that's what everybody does. Like, okay, so here's a recap of the 2016 election. Mainstream media goes pro-Hillary for 6 months, right? Regardless of whether or not you're pro-Trump or pro-Hillary, or hate them both. The media was totally on Hillary's side for the whole time, and then Hillary lost, and now they're just saying that the election doesn't count. I mean, really? Is that controversial to say, or is that pretty much...
It sounds like something a Trump supporter would say, but,
I mean, you could not support Trump, but, like... I guess people could argue, like... You could argue the same thing with Obama. Fuel 2! It's a war of attrition.
Yeah, clearly.
This episode is going long. Come on, Anthony. Wrap this up.
I'm trying! He won't fucking hold still!
I've heard that before. Do a barrel roll! This is Peppy speaking. Fox, I think you're doing too many barrel rolls! Lay off the barrel rolls! Is Peppy officially dead in the Starfox lore? Because I know in, like, Starfox Adventures he was... No, in Starfox Assault he was too old to do anything, so he was replaced by Furry Fantasy Crystal.
Furry Fantasy Crystal!
In latex clothes. So he was too old. He was retired, basically, in Star Fox Assault, but in the new Star Fox game, which is supposedly coming out on the Switch, do you think he's going to be officially dead in the lore?
No.
No?
Did you play Star Fox Zero? No, you don't have a Wii U.
No, I don't. I did play it. I was over your place one time, or Betsy's place, and we played it together, remember? Wasn't there like a two-player mode where one person looks at the Wii U and the other looks...
Go down! It's like missiles don't work on him!
He's immune to missiles. He has some alien technology.
It really fucking feels that way.
He has a cloaking field. Or maybe none of this even matters. Maybe it's just a game. Oh, I know what we need to do to beat him. We need to lock on.
I'm gonna fucking cut your throat out.
Peter, you have to lock on to beat the game.
I'm trying, Lois, I swear.
Who's the most, the one thing about Family Guy is, the parents are likable, and the dog and, Stewie and Brian are likable, but I hate Meg and Chris. I hate them. They're such unlikable, boring characters, don't you think?
Chris has his moments, but yeah, no.
No,
I guess
every time I see them, it's always like, you gotta think of the original episodes, when they were just like, every time they're on screen, you just wanted to gouge your eyes out. Their story arcs were so uninteresting. And I think, what it comes down to is, like, Peter is, like, so eccentric, and Lois balances him out. The dog is a dog that talks, Stewie is eccentric, and then they're just, like, normal kids. They're like, oh yeah, we're just teenagers, and we're fat. We have no personalities. We just exist.
What the fuck? Go down.
If you're still watching this, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, let me know what you thought of my Creepypasta story.
This is fucking personal now. I ain't ending this episode until he or I are dead.
Maybe we should make that Creepypasta into its own video. We're gonna, like, act it out.
No.
No, it's not worth it.
Where is he?
Although I have a few talents, such as music and I guess mathematics.
Video editing, too.
Video editing, right. One talent I don't have that I wish I had, and I'm envious of, is people that are artists or can do animation.
Yeah, same.
I know Betsy...
They make absurd amounts of money doing what they do. Which, as long as you can find somebody who will hire them.
Yeah, in the old days you used to be able to do it on Newgrounds, and like even YouTube you could upload on YouTube and get some money, because it was the YouTube monetization was based off of like views.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
Well,
Fuck it.
we're gonna end our episode of Lock On with, wow, that's a really really basic game over screen. They did not try very hard there, did they? Anyway, let's end our series of Lock On with just one final 7-second salute to our armed forces, our Marines, our Air Force members. We salute. No, for real though, we salute you. Let's give them 7 seconds of love. Here we go. 8 seconds.
No, but for real, I do actually. I've got many family members in the military and a very close friend of mine who's in the Navy. So we both do support our armed forces. And
Yep.
We just want to end it on that note, despite all of our freedom talk.
And Jake Steele has balls of steel. Catch us next time in the Retro Roulette, where we play more retro games.